I was thinking about this today. Well, actually, what happened was my computer over the weekend crashed, right? I lost all of my files. Like, good thing I have an online backup. But as I was preparing for this class today, my backup hadn't downloaded all of my information yet. So I had to recreate a lot of new graphics and things like that. And I was looking back, and I've been doing these classes for over 4 years, every Wednesday. So those of you who are brand new to me or this group, uh, you will find hundreds of videos in here. And how you find videos is you can just go up to the search bar, type in a topic. I've done classes and videos on almost every topic you can imagine, primarily around diabetes, blood sugars, and health, hormones, and all of that. But I've done it on, oh my word, insulin resistance and cholesterol and high blood pressure and edema and neuropathy. And I mean, I've done classes on everything. So if you're ever wondering, like if I've done a class on a particular topic that interests you, go to the search bar at the top here, type in the topic, and something will probably pop up. So that's how some of you newbies who are in this group can access some of the classes that I've done for the last 4 years. And there's a lot of things that I've done. I also love to hear from you. So a lot of times when people come to the group, or they have something they want me to talk about that I have never talked about before, that you can email me, you can message me and say, hey, would you mind, maybe doing a class on H. pylori, or I've done a class on that, by the way, or on, SIBO or migraines or whatever. You can ask. And listen, I love teaching. I love coaching. I love what I do. I love helping women because I have been, through a lot of my own personal health crises. And the good news is I've been able to come out of those health crises by practicing what I preach and practicing a holistic approach, which is what this group is all about, right? This group is all about a holistic approach to being able to get healthy, because I strongly, with my heart of hearts, believe and know to be true that our body's innate intelligence knows how to fix itself if we provide it with what it needs. The problem is a lot of us are getting misinformation, and we're getting, our doctors telling us that we need all these different medications, which is just interfering with our body's own innate ability to heal itself. So the whole purpose of why I started this group is a women's only group, and it's for women who are struggling with any sort of condition. It can be being overweight, obesity, it can be high blood pressure, high cholesterol, it can be prediabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, it can be emotional eating, whatever it is. If you're a woman and you're in this group and you don't feel vibrant and healthy, then you deserve to be here. And I'm glad you're here, because my mission is to be able to help every single woman that brings their eyeballs to my page here, and be able to help every single woman and give them the insight on whatever it is that could be ailing you. We're talking about how to detox from sugar tonight. So I want to first ask you a question. How many of you feel like you're addicted to sugar? Like, how many of you feel like you just, or how many of you have tried to detox or quit eating sugar and have failed? Anybody out there have those kind of that that strong desire for sugar? You feel like you can never get off of it. You feel like you're addicted to it. Does anybody have that here? Listen, how do you know if you're addicted to sugar? Here, I want to kind of share with you how you know you're addicted to sugar. One is you think about it all the time. Like, you think about food, you think about sugar. Two is you feel like if you don't have it, you start to get shakes, or you start to get crazy. Like, you're thinking about food all the time. You crave it, like you're not only thinking about, but you just crave it, like you have these strong cravings. And then number three is you're crabby and have symptoms if you don't have it. That's how you know you're addicted to sugar. And how you know it's a problem is when you are taking your blood sugars, right? And your blood sugars are high, and then you end up being diagnosed with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or diabetes. So it always starts with an addiction, right? It starts with putting that sugar in and then your body becoming addicted to it. And then it's like, how do you detox from it? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about, you know, why, like how you got your addiction to sugar, because to be very honest with you, most of it's not your fault. And I'm going to tell you why that is. But it's, I feel like so many women have so much shame around their addiction. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not all your fault, because the food companies and the marketing are giving you guys all this wrong information, and you're putting foods in that you think are healthy, and they're causing more of the addiction. And also, I'm telling you, like the dietitians and the not the nutritionists and dietitians are very different. Okay, I'm a holistic nutritionist. I could have been a dietitian, but I didn't want to be a dietitian, because dietitians still believe in the food pyramid. They still believe in the wrong. They don't understand, really. I truly believe that dietitians are more of the allopathic mindset, where they will always use old science around food and medications. Is kind of like they want to, you know, combine those two. As a holistic nutritionist, I'm always about finding out the why. Like, why is it that your blood sugars are high? Why is it that you have high cholesterol or bad cholesterol? Why is it that you have high triglycerides? Why do you have neuropathy? Why is your A1C high? Like, how can we get it down? And then how can we get you off medications? That's the holistic approach that I teach, and I'm really good at it. But a lot of women that come in and work with me, you know, they are being told so many bad things. I have so many women that when they come and work with me, they've been to their diabetes educators, and their diabetes educators are telling them the absolute wrong things. And then they come and work with me, and it's like, you're telling me the opposite of what the diabetes educators, are telling me, the diabetes dietitians. I'm like, I know, because they're not up on the latest research. They're not up on it. They're from the mindset that, it's okay, everything in moderation. It's okay to have sugar, and it's okay to have, in the ADA, the American Diabetes Association manual for how to eat when you have diabetes, they have Dunkin' Donuts in there. What does that tell you? I mean, come on, right? So you guys, a lot of this isn't your fault. So this is why I love being able to help and teach you and give you the truth and give you the facts and just introduce you to the other side, the holistic side, because you're not going to hear that from your diabetes educators or your doctors. You're not, because they are all allopathic minded, which basically means that they're not up on the latest research, and they're very focused on medications and drugs, and even the dietitians are not, they're not they're not for holistic approaches to food. You know, the what we have to understand is that when I customize a protocol for somebody, not everybody has the same situation. Not everybody's immune systems are the same. Not everybody's bodies are the same. Not everybody's health history is the same. Not everybody's symptoms are the same. So you can't put everybody on the same thing. We have to experiment and find out what's going to work for you. And that's the same thing when it comes to sugar. It's like you're being told, oh, moderation is okay, and your diabetes educators are telling you it's okay to have sugar in moderation. Well, I'm gonna show you tonight why it's not. That is not the way to do it, because sugar is like a drug. Sugar is a drug. You keep putting that in you, and it's just going to make the addiction stronger. It's going to make the hormones more wackadoo. It's going to make your cravings more. It's going to make everything inflamed. And when you have inflammation, things start to break down in your body. Sugar is not only addictive, but it's also very harmful to your body. Okay. So when I talk to you guys about how to detox, we got to do it in a way that's effective and immediate, but we also have to understand like what we can do while we're starting to eliminate that sugar. Because if you have any of those three things, if you think about it all the time, if you crave it all the time, and if you are crabby, if you don't eat it, you have an addiction. And here's the best news. Okay? You can totally overcome your addiction to sugar. You totally can. Now, will you have some little rough days, maybe some rough moments? Yes, but the beautiful thing about the body is once you do that and you start to detox and that starts to get out of you, a lot of those addictive symptoms go away. So that's the beauty of this. Okay, so let's get started and let's go through um, what we're going to talk about tonight. But here's what I want to say before we start. One really quick thing. I decided, and I just decided this a few days ago. I have an academy. I have a program, a 4-month program that I only open up my academy 2 to 3 times a year. Okay. And I'm just getting, I have a group right now that I'm coaching. It's an amazing program. It's amazing. And every woman that goes through it learns and benefits from it. And I love it so much. And my next group wasn't going to open until January, but I decided right now, I'm going to open up 5 spots to take 5 of you ladies in this group who want to work with me. And now such a great time to do it before the holidays, because what happens is most people during the holidays, they get worse. They gain weight, their blood sugars get worse. They're so stressed out and they're just like, they're panicked, and then they feel miserable. And I think the best time to do a program with me is now, so that you can get through the holidays with so much ease. And I can offer you, solutions as to how you can prepare meals during the holidays. It's just an amazing time to do it. So anyway, I decided I'm going to take 5 people who would like to work privately with me and go through my program. It's a 4-month program. So all you got to do is you can go to Zoom with Terry, ZOOM with Terry.com. Get on my schedule. We'll do a consultation. We'll see if you're a fit. And if you are, we'll get started right away. And think about this. What we're going to do is in 4 months, you will have lower A1C, and I will help you detox from sugar, and you will have lost a bunch of weight, lowered your A1C, lowered your blood sugar by the new year, and being able to do all this through the holidays. Doesn't that sound amazing? I mean, honestly, wouldn't you want somebody to coach you through the holidays? Because I can guarantee most people, when they start working with me in January, they're just like they've just like, oh my gosh, I gained so much weight through the holidays. And it's like, I want to help you be successful through the holidays. So think about that. And I'll put this up again at the end, but I just decided this week. I've never done this before, where I've opened up 5 spots for private coaching. I've never done that before. So this is an opportunity for anybody who would like to do that, to participate. All you got to do is go to my Zoom with Terry and get on my schedule. We'll talk. That's it. There's no obligation. There's no risk in talking to me and just sharing with me your situation, so that I can offer some solutions for you. And then hopefully you'll decide to come and work with me. Okay. So detoxing from sugar, right, is it can be very, very challenging. So we first, I asked you the question, are you addicted to sugar? And the reasons I know most people are addicted to sugar is if they can't stop thinking about it, if you crave it, and if you feel like you need to have it, and if you have physical symptoms if you don't have it. Okay. Sugar is very addicting. Numerous studies have proven and shown that sugar impacts us in very negative ways. Sugar is addictive. It's like a drug. It gives us a dopamine hit. So if you guys know what a dopamine hit is when it's like goes to your brain. Dopamine is a chemical in the brain, and sugar creates this dopamine hit that gives you this sense of amazing, it just gives you the sense of well-being. Okay, this is why food and alcohol and drugs are so addicting, because when you take that drug, it gives you this sensation, and it numbs pain in your life. Food and sugar does the same thing. Okay, so sugar is very, very addicting, and here is why a lot of people might question, like, I don't know what happened. Like, all of a sudden, I feel like I'm addicted to sugar. I'm addicted to, and I don't feel like I used to eat that much sugar. Why am I so addicted to it? Well, here's why. This is why I'm saying it's not your fault. Because fast food restaurants and processed foods contain chemicals that actually are addictive agents. And they do that for a reason, because they want you to continue buying the fast food, and they want you to continue eating their food, and they want you to continue buying their products. So it's not your fault. There's been studies done on the impacts of how this sugar that is in this fast food and in these products are not only very rewarding, but they cause you that spike in sugar, which also causes you that dopamine hit. So here's kind of how the sugar addiction cycle works. You eat the sugar, you like it, you crave it. It has addictive properties. Then it gives you a blood sugar spike. Then dopamine is released in the brain, and then the addiction mass is created. And then what happens is, when your body has all this sugar rushing to it, right, it's very dangerous for the body to have high blood sugar. So then insulin comes in and pushes that sugar down, and then your blood sugars drop low again. So when the blood sugar falls rapidly, then you have high insulin levels, right? And then anytime you have high insulin, you immediately will store fat, and that high insulin also gives your body more craving for sugar. So then it goes back to hunger and cravings again. You have low blood sugar levels, and then you have increase in appetite, and then it just repeats the cycle, right? This is why it's so addicting. It's not your fault. You have a chemical storm going on in your body. Okay, so the sooner you can just come to terms with, like, listen, I'm willing and wanting to learn how to, you know, heal this addiction. These are the steps you can take. Okay, and there's chemicals in all the food. All the fast foods have them. There's not one fast food chain that doesn't have hidden sugar in it and also chemicals in them. Not one. Everything processed is going to have these addictive chemicals in it. Why do you think fast food is so cheap, right? Why do you think the food is so cheap? Because they want to keep you coming back, not only with the price, but also the addictive chemicals that they put in the hamburgers and the French fries and everything. And that just keeps you coming back. I remember years ago, I was addicted to Diet Coke. Like, I can't even tell you how much Diet Coke I drank. After I would get up in the morning, early in the morning. This is before I knew so much about nutrition, right? But I would get up in the morning, go do my workout. I would run to the McDonald's drive-through and get a Coke on my drive to work, right? And then I would sit at work, and then on the way home, I'd go through the drive-through again. I mean, I was like, I'd get the big gulps of Diet Coke. And, back then, I didn't know aspartame was harmful. But aspartame is a neurotoxin, and it's very addictive. So I just craved Diet Coke, craved it. And I thought I was drinking healthy because it's diet, right? Yeah, but the aspartame in the diet is actually just as dangerous as regular soda with the high fructose corn syrup, right? So either one is going to spike your blood sugar. So aspartame does the same thing as high fructose corn syrup. Just has different functions, but it does the same thing. And so causes weight gain, causes, the addictive behavior. So when you understand that, you can give yourself some grace and be like, okay, wow, that's pretty crazy that, and for some of you, you should be a little bit annoyed with these fast food companies because they've wronged us in many ways. Okay. So just know that the first step is going to be to really try to eliminate those, fast food items in your body. Okay. So before we talk about actually how to detox, I mean, that's one of the things, obviously, is to quit eating fast food, but let's talk a little bit about what sugar can do to you. Because I do really want you to understand the harm that this sugar will do in your body. Okay. When you continue to eat sugar and when you have sugar in the body, it's going to keep you in cravings mode. So you're never going to not have cravings if you keep eating sugar. It's just, that's not how it works. You have high blood sugar, high insulin. When your insulin is high, you're always going to be storing fat. You're always going to be craving sugar. That's just how it works. Okay, so that's the first thing. You will have weight gain because anytime you have high sugars, you have high insulin. And when you have high insulin, insulin stops the fat burning process in your body. This is why so many of you are having such a hard time losing weight, even when you diet. It doesn't matter. If you have insulin resistance and you have high insulin, you're never going to lose weight. Insulin causes weight gain. Insulin stops your fat burning. Okay, so that's just something good to know. Also, inflammation in the body is very high when you have a lot of sugar in it, because sugar gets into the tissues, and sugar, you guys, sugar in your body is like shards of glass going through all your veins and your arteries. Okay, I want you to think about that, especially if you have chronic high sugars. That sugar, and then when you eat that sugar with proteins that are glycated, that your blood becomes thick and sticky. And so why do people have heart attacks, and why do people have artery damage, and why do people have you know neuropathy? Because the blood isn't flowing correctly. And also, once it becomes thick and sticky, it's causing another slew of problems. But also, the glass in the sugar are like shards of glass going through your body. I want you to really think of that. Think about sugar and think of each one of those being sharp, like glass. And when that sugar goes through your arteries, it scrapes your artery walls, and that causes that inflammation. And when that sugar is scraping against your artery walls, that's when that plaque and that calcium builds up, because it's trying to heal. That's when the cholesterol goes in there and tries to heal the calcification, the damage that's been done to the arteries. That's the real problem. It's not the cholesterol. It's the high sugar causing damage and inflammation in the arteries. So when you can just visualize that, I mean, honestly, that's scary, right? So it's so important that you understand that our bodies are not designed to have high blood sugars. And listen, you guys all know this. Those of you who have diabetes, you've been told, like your A1C, if it's under 5.6, you don't have diabetes. Anything over 5.6 has you have higher blood sugars. 80 milligrams per deciliter, between 80 and 100 milligrams per deciliter is the range that you want to be. That's the range that your body can handle without it being damaging. Anything more than that starts to cause damage to your tissues. This is why you get fatty liver. This is why people get kidney disease and kidney failure, because the sugar is so bad for your organs and your tissues and your veins and your arteries. Okay. So, the other thing that most people don't know is that sugar is what's causing high triglycerides. It's not eating fat that causes high triglycerides. It's the sugar. When you eat sugar, your liver converts it to triglycerides. It's not fat that's causing the triglycerides. It's the sugar. Okay, so more sugar you have, the higher your triglycerides will be. And then, of course, long stretches of having high chronic blood sugars are going to turn into diabetes, cancer, autoimmune, neuropathy, heart disease, all of that. It's just a matter of time. Our bodies can only take so much, you guys. That's the point. It's like our bodies are very resilient. Okay, but over time, if we keep and we keep and we keep and we keep, not giving it what it needs to be able to heal itself, and we keep pounding it with chemicals and keep pounding it with toxins and keep pounding it with sugar and keep pounding it, eventually it's like, I can't heal anymore. I mean, I'm just trying to keep up with everything that's going in. Your toxic load gets really high, which brings me to another point. Last week, if you do a search inside of the group here, I did a whole class on the top 15 or 20 things that you can do from a toxicity standpoint to start eliminating from your life now. Sugar was one of them, but I'm just saying there's a lot of like toxins and things that you can do to start lowering that toxic load so your body will have a chance to be more successful in healing. Okay, so sugar is just it's not good. It causes your blood to get thick and sticky, and then it causes clogging. It causes tears in the arterial lining of the arteries, and yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. So let's talk about how we can start to eliminate sugar. Okay, so it's really not hard to stop. Okay, let me say this again. How to stop eating sugar is you stop eating sugar. Like how to detox from sugar is you stop eating sugar. That's the easy answer. But why don't people do it? Because it's super hard. Because to go cold turkey off of sugar is very challenging because you're going to have symptoms. Okay. But what you're being told are the wrong things. You're being told you should do it slowly. And so this is what I just want to talk with you about. Out of love and out of concern, I want to talk with you how you do this, but it is going to require a cold stop from the bad ingredients. Now, you can replace with things that aren't going to spike your blood sugar, and we'll talk about that. But you do have to decide. It's not a, oh, let's slowly wean off. It's not like that. You can't, because listen, you slowly wean off, you're still adding that sugar in. You're still going to have the cravings. You're still going to have you're still not going to get rid of the sugar. You've got to eliminate it. You've got to just like cold turkey say no to it. And then get through a couple days of the symptoms, right? But I'm going to tell you something. If you do what I'm going to be sharing with you, you spend some time doing this in 10 days, in under 2 weeks, most of your high sugar symptoms will be gone. Like you can do so much like health reversal of bad symptoms in a short period of time. But you've got to be willing to do a little bit of like feel a little bit uncomfortable while you're going through the detox symptoms. So half of it is the physical symptoms and half of it is up here. Half of it's up here. And this is what I coach a lot of women on is like, of course you have the physical symptoms of just eliminating sugar because the cravings are going to be super intense and all that. But you also have the emotional. You have the emotional side of it. Because a lot of times people will be eating sugar because they want that dopamine hit and they want to not feel negative emotion. Okay, so that's another thing that we touch on in my program is really how to detox not only physically from sugar, but how to detox emotionally from sugar because that's a real thing. Okay, so we have to, what you're being told is you have to start slow. This is the worst advice that anybody can ever give you, and this is why, like I just said, because if you don't just stop, you're going to keep having that introduction, and sugar is a drug. So let's say that you just cut down half. Well, okay, that's good, but you're never going to let your body eliminate the sugar to eliminate the symptom. Okay, it's like you have to just cold turkey stop, and replace it with healthy food that will give you nutrients that will help also get rid of the cravings and some of the symptoms that you have. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to make a decision. I'm going to quit eating fast food. I'm going to quit eating, processed food or things I know that have a ton of sugar. And you know what those are, you guys. You don't need me to tell you, to quit eating cupcakes and donuts and, regular pop and all that. Okay. So that's not rocket science. But we also have to quit snacking. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. You're being told, and I know this for a fact because the diabetes educators, dietitians are telling you everything in moderation. It's okay. You can have donuts once everything's in moderation. And you need to eat. Those of you who have diabetes, your diabetes educators are telling you, you've got to eat every 2 to 4 hours. You got to eat every 2 to 4 hours. This is the worst advice ever because what they're doing is they're telling you to eat every 2 to 4 hours because they want you to manage the medication. They're managing your medications. We want to do it the other way. We want to get you off medications. We want your body to be able to process and eat and manage the food without the medication, without your blood sugar spiking. Okay, so the first thing is you got to eliminate the source. Eliminate the source that's causing the blood sugar spike because not only is it causing the blood sugar spike, but it's doing way more damage than that. The blood sugar spike is just a short-term effect of eating sugar. The long-term effects are what it's doing under the surface, which is like the shards of glass in the veins and causing the kidney damage and causing the liver and the high triglycerides and all of the, the neuropathy and all the the eyes. I mean, my gosh, you guys, high chronic sugar, you eventually, if you don't take care of this, your eyes are going to go bad. You will lose your eyesight. Your eyes will get worse and worse and worse. You will get neuropathy. If you're a type 2 diabetic, that's just, it's going to happen if you don't make a decision to do something about it now. Okay. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to say, listen, this is the beautiful thing with diabetes. It's reversible. It is reversible. It is reversible, but you have to be able to take these steps that I'm teaching you. And this is why I offered to have you guys work with me because it really, you'll probably be more successful if you have a coach and somebody that can actually talk you through it, and you'll be there to help you, and give you a customized protocol. But in my program, that's the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna eliminate sugar, and you're gonna have some major like cravings. But there's some hacks that we talk about with how to, when you're dealing with these cravings, like some things you can do that will help with that. But you've got to quit eating every 2 to 4 hours also. The more you're eating, right, every 2 to 4 hours, the more you're just keeping that insulin high, which that insulin, every time you eat, release insulin. So if you're just eating every 2 to 4 hours, your insulin is always high, and then that is just causing more insulin resistance, and it's causing more inflammation, and you're never going to be able to heal your body. Oops, hold on, I'm showing the wrong screen here. Sometimes it does that. Let me go back. There we go. Is it showing the right screen now? There we go. So again, we start slow. We don't want to start slow. We want to cold turkey, just get off the sugar. Then we got to quit snacking. I would make a decision eating 3 times a day. That's it. Every time you put something in your mouth, that's a meal. Okay, so quit reaching into the bag of peanuts, and quit reaching into the bag of whatever, and eating in between the meals. Eat 3 solid meals or 2 solid meals a day. We got to quit snacking. That's just interfering with the body's ability to detox from sugar. Okay, add MCT oil. Once you quit snacking, once you go to your 2 to 3 meals a day, good quality meals, add some MCT oil, because here's what's going to happen. When your brain is so used to getting that dopamine hit from sugar, and you quit sugar, you're going to get some withdrawals. You're going to be like, you might even get some brain fog. You might even get some, and if you eat MCT oil, like consume MCT oil, that's going to help, and that will help with your brain fog. It will help satiation. It will help reduce those cravings, because MCT oil, what it does in your body is converts to ketones, and ketones in your body are very good for cravings, for your brain function. So you can get MCT oil in coconut oil, or you can get straight up MCT oil. I like the caprylic acid. I think that's because also MCT oil, caprylic acid bypasses the liver. So you don't have to worry about, your liver having to do anything with that. It just bypasses it and goes right to the cells of the body. So it's really a good hack, and helps. The thing with MCT oil though is you want to start slow, because if you get up to that 1 tablespoon, you might get the runs. So you want to start slow, but it's a really good thing to add, because it's not going to increase your blood sugars, and it's just going to help your body feel satiated, and it's going to also help with some of the symptoms that go along when you quit eating sugar. You have to eliminate all fructose. And here's my advice. When I say fructose is anything that has processed packaging, anything that is from a carbonated machine, that in a restaurant, diet, anything, or regular anything. But even diet, because it has aspartame, but there are some additional safe safe sweeteners that you can use. But fructose is in everything. You got to start reading labels. Okay. And here's my advice also. If you're a person that you think you are addicted to sugar, and you know that you crave sugar a lot, for a short period of time, you even need to eliminate fruit. Like I would not, because fruit is fructose, and fructose is broken down in the liver differently than any other sugar. Okay, so fructose, this is why if you have a fatty liver, you should not be eating fruit until you reverse your fatty liver, because that fructose is being broken down and causing fatty liver. That's what happens. Fructose converts to fatty liver, triglycerides. It converts right to it. Okay, it stays in the liver, and that's why a lot of people have fatty livers, because of the fructose. So now I'm not saying you can't have fruit for the rest of your life. I'm saying as you're weaning off, and especially if you have diabetes, you've got to just for a short period of time eliminate fructose, eliminate fruit, especially the fruit that's very high in sugars, like your bananas and your mangoes and your cantaloupes and your watermelon, right? Just for a short period of time. And then when you've reversed your fatty liver, which doesn't take very long, by the way, when you're your um, blood sugars come down a little bit, then maybe you can start adding some berries. But I honestly, I wouldn't even have any fruit right now as you're trying to detox from sugar, at least for the first couple weeks or maybe even a month, because you introduce that sugar back in, fruit back in, you're just going to start the cravings all over again. I know it seems harsh, but this is what we got to. This is the reality of it, right? Now, here's the hack. Use sweeteners that are healthy, that are safe. So you can still feel like you're getting that sweetness in you, but you're not going to, it's not going to be the sugar that's toxic in your body, and it's not going to be an addictive sort of quality. Okay, stevia is a very safe sweetener, and stevia is in a lot of products. So if you're going to be drinking like waters that are sweetened, make sure it's sweetened with stevia. If you're going to drink carbonated water, like my favorite product in the entire world is Zevia, because it's carbonated water with, it tastes like my Diet Coke. That's what it tastes like. I love Zevia. It's my Diet Coke fix, and it's totally healthy. It's non-GMO. It uses sweetener Zevia or stevia. It's very, very, very good. So that's my go-to. Also, I drink a lot of teas. I like my teas cold actually, but I drink a lot of teas, and I just let I buy teas that are very flavorful. This one happens to be like a senna chamomile lavender, and I put it in just some warm water or tap water that's not hot, not cold, and then I add little stevia to it. And this is what I drink all the time. It's so good. And it's sweet. So it gives me that, because I lean a little bit more on the sweet tooth side. I crave more sweet than I do salt. And so I just find things that satisfy that without spiking my blood sugar, without giving me those intense cravings. It's just a little something nice that it kind of feels good after like a meal, just sipping on something a little sweet or the carbonated. So you can use hacks like that. And there's so many products. Once you guys start reading labels, there's so many products that are healthy versions of maybe what you're used to eating now. For example, in my academy, we have an entire cookbook that is taking unhealthy food and making them healthy. And you'll get access to that if you decide to come and work with me. I have a 300-page cookbook, right? And we take like macaroni and cheese and pizza and donuts and cookies, and we catify them and make them healthy. So this is why in my program, the detoxing from the sugar isn't as hard as it might sound, because they're getting a lot of support and options to be able to make these recipes that will kind of fill that void as they're detoxing from the bad sugars, but it will still give them a little bit of a sweet taste that helps them get through it. And then once they are totally detoxed, and this is what happens when you detox, right? All of a sudden those symptoms start going away. It's so amazing. And it happens in a short period of time, but you've got to kind of bite the bullet at the beginning and start doing some of these things right away, and stay compliant and make sure you continue to do it, because the minute you introduce sugar back in, it's like you're starting all over again. It's going to trigger those symptoms right away. Okay. So again, when you're reading labels, just look for stevia or monk fruit. It's an amazing alternative. And then, alcohol. Alcohol is really, it's concentrated sugar. And even though, you'll hear people say, well, there's no sugar in alcohol, like, hard liquor, it converts to sugar once you drink it. So if you're doing the fruity foo-foo drinks like the margaritas and all that, of course, that's added sugar. But even just the straight up vodkas and the straight up wine and the straight up beer, all of that converts to sugar. Okay. Also, the alcohol, and listen, it's not like I care if people drink. What I care about is if you have diabetes or fatty liver or kidney disease or heart disease, or you're obese and you want to lose weight, you got to eliminate the toxin. Now, alcohol is a toxin. So I'm not saying you shouldn't drink because of any other reason other than it's a toxin. And if you want to heal your body, you've got to give your body the right things. And alcohol is not going to help you heal. Now, once you're healed and you want an occasional wine or beer, that's a different story. Okay. So the reason why I'm telling you not to drink alcohol isn't because of any other reason. I don't care if people drink, but if they're unhealthy, I do care. Because if you're unhealthy, the alcohol is just going to be not helping you heal, and it's just going to make your situation worse. Okay. You will get too much alcohol will cause a fatty liver. It just will. And amongst other things, it's going to cause insulin resistance. It's going to cause high triglycerides. And alcohol shuts down your fat burning too. So there's that. And I know most women I work with are really concerned about not gaining weight. Okay. So this is what happens when you stop doing that. When you stop eating the sugar and you take some of these tips I'm helping you, you lose weight pretty quickly because with every sugar molecule there's inflammation attached to it and water attached to it. So you will lose a lot of that puffiness. Your kidney function will improve in just days because the shards of glass are being eliminated from the body. Your eyes will improve. Your brain and your nerves will improve. Your arteries, inflammation will improve. It will decrease nightly urination. So if you're getting up in the middle of the night having to pee all the time, it's because you have high blood sugars. So if once you detox from the sugar and your body utilizes the water better, you won't be going to the bathroom as much. You'll have more energy. Your cravings will go away. This is the biggest, wonderful, I think, effect of cutting sugar. Because one of the main reasons why you eat so much sugar is because the cravings are so intense, right? Well, if you quit feeding the source, if you quit feeding yourself the sugar cravings will go away because you are detoxing and you don't have it. It's crazy. The hunger pains will go away because when your insulin is high, your ghrelin, your leptin and your ghrelin, which are the hunger hormones, they are all whacked up. Okay, so when your ghrelin is low, you're going to have a lot of hunger pains. So those are going to go away because the ghrelin will level out and you'll have a better leptin ghrelin balance. So your hunger pains will go away. You're going to have better skin. You're going to have less pain and stiffness in the body. And, eventually your blood sugars will lower and you'll lower your A1C. I mean, those are all amazing benefits of doing that, right? So cutting out sugar from your diet offers so many health advantages. First and foremost, it will help you manage your diabetes and prevent chronic conditions. And excessive sugar consumption always will lead to higher risk of diabetes and insulin resistance and heart attacks. Okay, so removing sugar from your diet will aid in all of these, to stabilize your blood sugar and reduce the strain on your cardiovascular system. So listen, it's so amazing what the body will do when you provide it and you do a little work and you're willing to feel a little uncomfortable as you're detoxing from sugar, but it's amazing what the body will do when you give it what it needs. And your body doesn't need sugar. It doesn't need sugar. If people are telling you it needs sugar, they're wrong. Your body does not need sugar. Your body needs good quality nutrition. It needs good quality fuel, good quality nutrition, and it needs to be less toxins. Our bodies need less toxins. And I would encourage you to watch that class I did a couple of weeks ago on the top toxins that you can start to eliminate from your life. And those, when I talked about the toxins a couple of weeks ago, I do say in that class, it's use constraint. You can do that slowly, pick a couple things here and there and do that slowly. But when it comes to sugar, I wouldn't do it slow. I would make a decision and have a plan. If you guys decide, okay, tonight, I'm making a plan. I'm gonna eliminate sugar. You want to plan it out first. You want to go and maybe buy some alternative things that you can have around the house so that you can make sure that when that intense craving comes, you're not eating the bad sugar, but you're providing it with something temporarily that's healthy, right? And then you're going to be hungry. If you're used to eating 4 to 6 times a day and you cut it down to 3 times a day, you've got a plan to make sure that those meals that you're eating those 3 times a day are satiating. And adding fats is going to do that. So MCT oil and adding fats will help that satiation. But all of those things will help as you get through the detox, phase. And I'm going to tell you, you do it for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you will feel like a different person. The first few days and week will be hard. It's just it's just part of it, a part of it. But it doesn't have to be as difficult if you have a plan. And so some of these tips hopefully will have helped you determine what that is. Or you decide to come and work with me and I will really help you through it. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. It's never just one thing, and I always say this in all of my classes, but it's if you are struggling right now with diabetes or with prediabetes or insulin resistance or high cholesterol, high triglycerides, neuropathy, high blood pressure, chronic fatigue syndrome, you're on multiple medications. If that's you, I understand 100%. And the problem I see is that your doctors are failing you because they don't know how to help you. The only thing they know how to do is prescribe more medications. So this is why I have a different viewpoint, a different strategy to help you, because my strategy, the holistic health, functional medicine, basically, functional diagnostic nutrition and holistic health is going to find out the why and find the underlying root cause of why your blood sugars are high, why you're obese, why you have high blood pressure. Find the underlying root cause and then give your body what it needs to create balance so that it can heal itself. And then you can start getting off the medications. Doctors don't know how to do that. That's just not their area of expertise. They're really good at diagnosing. They're good at trauma care. They're good at infectious disease and surgery, and they're good at prescribing you pills. But they have no idea how to help you lower your blood sugars. They have no idea. They have no idea how to help you with heartburn. Heartburn is one of the easiest things to get rid of naturally, and they don't know how to do it. It's just because they're not educated in holistic treatment. The only thing that they want to do is prescribe. Okay. And I know this to be true because I worked with thousands of clients, and including myself. When I went to the doctor for my cancer, they didn't know how to help me. All they told me is that you better not do holistic. That's not, you're too young to be messing around with holistic. You need to do chemo. That's all they knew. I'm like, bye-bye. And I figured it out, and I just did my due diligence, and I learned, and I practiced what I preach. And I'm telling you something, so glad I did it that way. It was a lot of work, but I'm so glad I did it that way because my quality of life during that time didn't suffer like it would have if I would have chosen chemo. And the reason I share that with you is because many of you guys who are on diabetes medications or weight loss medications, whatever it is, it's the same thing. You're miserable while you're on the medications. Your quality of life sucks. I get it. So you're trying to manage this disease, and you go to your doctor trusting that they'll help you, and they just keep giving you more medications, and you keep getting worse, and you keep getting told by your diabetes educators to have more donuts, and you're confused, and you're like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm feeling worse. I'm gaining weight. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like miserable. I get it. So you're kind of stuck if you're going to follow the advice of your medical doctor for your nutrition related disease. Diabetes is a nutrition related disease. Okay. So if you're going to follow your doctor's advice on that, you're just never going to get better. All it's going to happen is you're going to manage it. And then eventually your body can't manage it anymore. So they have to up your medication and up. And then, listen, if you're on 4, 5, 10, 16 medications, you can't feel good. There's no way. And I've had women that have come to me that have been on 18 medications. That's pretty common, actually. And they're able to get off of almost all of them pretty quickly because I have a process. I have a system. I have a protocol that works. Okay. And all of these classes in this group touch on pieces of it. The only problem with being in the group and not working with me is I can give you all this information, but are you going to do it? Are you actually going to be guided? I give you the how. So in my program, you get the how. Like, how do you do it? Like, how exactly, what is the formula? in the group I give you, here's what we do, but how do you do it? Like how do you, like how do you follow it and how do you get encouragement? That's the beauty of joining the program. And this is why, some of these things I can't talk about in the group because they're so customized. So everybody's situation is pretty different, right? So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, go check out that class I did a couple weeks ago on the toxic bucket. And also, I just want to remind you that you have an opportunity here to 5 of you. I'm only taking 5 to work with me over the holidays. By January, you will have detox from sugar. You will no longer have cravings. You will no longer, your whole body will change. I promise you. Your A1C will be down. Your blood sugars will be down. You'll make it through the holidays successfully. And then you'll start the new year without a New Year's resolution. You'll already have started. Wouldn't that be amazing to get a jump start on the new year? I'm only taking 5 because I really just want to, I'm just taking 5. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, go to zoomwithterry.com and set up a time and we'll chat. Okay.